This is Bill Symmes with Sports Vision's All-American Game of the Week. Throughout this football season, we've presented one of the nation's top football games. But with the season running out, we'd like to do something a little different for you now and talk about national ratings. And of course, the top three teams are Ohio State, UCLA, and Oklahoma. There seems to be a great deal of disagreement concerning these teams. On one poll, the Bruins of UCLA rank on top. On another poll, it's Ohio State's Buckeyes, and the consensus third seems to be Oklahoma's Sooners. All three of these teams won convincingly week after week. The Bruins copped the Pacific Coast Conference title, Ohio State took the Big Ten crown, and Oklahoma walked off with honors in the Big Seven. Since the fans and the experts even disagree on these teams, and there's no chance for them to play, we'd like to let you folks at home have a look at them and decide for yourself. First, we're going to look at the defense. These teams were great on defense, too, so let's turn it over now to Sports Vision's cameras and take a look at the defense. We lead off with the defense-minded Bruins, who yielded just 40 points in 9 games. Masterminding the Bruins was head coach Red Sanders. And Bob Long spent most of his time in enemy backfields. Tackle Jack Elena was a consensus All-American. And Long and Elena were two of the keys to the stubborn Bruin defense, a point they make clear in this play. Maryland's Frank Tamburella was pressured, and UCLA's Jerry Acuna picks off the ball to stop a Maryland drive. That UCLA line shows its fierce charge again. This time their target is Charlie Boxhold. Johnny Herman intercepts Boxhold's wild throw. Maryland takes to the air again, but Boxhold is hounded and runs through right tackle for 8 yards before Bob Heidenfeld stops him just 2 yards short of the goal line. Only one touchdown was scored on the ground all season by Bruin opponents. Bruin lineman John Peterson and Joey Ray blocked George Shaw's punt in the Oregon game, and Rami Loud grabs the ball for the score. The defense got some of those 72 points scored against Stanford. Sam Brown illustrates with an 82-yard punt return. Machine-like Bruin blocking clears the path as Sam zigzags through the Indians. All-American Jack Elena and guard Sam Bogosian demonstrate again on this play, racking Maryland's Walker for a loss and a fumble. In the Southern Cal game, UCLA's defense kept the Trojans at bay. Contrado's pass was first deflected by Davenport, then intercepted by John Herman, who returned it 44 yards. The Oklahoma Sooners were 6th in the nation in total defense. Their chief defensive key was a great line and a fast secondary. Likeable Bud Wilkinson guided the Sooners to their unbeaten season. Kurt Burris, the Sooners' All-American center, anchored that forward wall. One of Oklahoma's best interior linemen was right guard Cecil Morris, who threw Missouri's Vic Eaton for a 4-yard loss on this play. Morris could go back and get him, too, as he demonstrates on this play. Oklahoma's fast-charging line rushed Eaton, who passed, but it was Morris who came up with the interception. Missouri found out that Morris wasn't the only tough Oklahoman. The Sooners had an All-American end in Max Boydston. And on this play, he shows you why, as he drops Tony Scardino for a 13-yard loss. The Sooner line gave California's All-American Paul Larson a bad afternoon, too. 5 hard-rushing Sooners drop in. Rock and sock tackling was a trademark of the Oklahomans. In the California game, they hit halfback Ted Granger so hard he fumbled, and Mears recovered for the Sooners. Guard Bo Bollinger was a fine running mate for Cecil Morris. Halfback Carroll Hardy of Colorado found out the hard way on this play. Tackle Cal Woodruff and Bollinger run him down with Woodruff making the stop. Halfback Buddy Leak was a top pass defender. And on this play, the lightning-fast Sooner back demonstrates he goes downfield with the Colorado receiver and intercepts Carroll Hardy's long pass. And it's Leak again on this pass. The Oklahoma star goes high and comes down with the ball as usual. Oklahoma's linemen block their share of punts, too. Joe Mobra breaks through to partially block John Edwards' kick. Yes, on defense, those Sooners were rough customers. The Ohio State Buckeyes were toughest inside their own 20, and Big Ten teams found it out. Coach Woody Hayes took the Buckeyes through. A key man offensively, halfback Bobby Watkins made his share of interceptions. Here's one against Purdue. And Dean Duggar was another reason why the Buckeyes were good. He proves it on this play. He blocks Len Dawson's place kick. It was tough getting past that Ohio scrimmage line with men like Dave Leggett and Hubert Bobo on the job. Indiana tries a screen pass, but Dean Duggar is Johnny on the spot, hitting Milt Campbell almost as he receives. Ohio State's defense had scoring punch, too. Indiana's Florian Helinski loses the ball to Ohio's great halfback Hopalong Cassidy, who galloped 68 yards with it. Alertness is defense, too. Left tackle Don Swartz proves it by gobbling up J.C. Caroline's fumble in the Illinois game. Ohio's air defense was almost pass-proof, and fullback Hubert Bobo gives you a good sample. He intercepts Lindbeck's pass. And now, look at that Bobo go. Center Bob Thornton of Ohio shows again why it's not safe to pass against the Buckeyes by picking off an attempted aerial. And his teammates give their approval, too. Ohio's linemen never let up, and Illinois back Abe Woodson learned it on this play. He loses 11 yards as the Buckeyes swarm in on him. Now let's take a look at these three great football teams on the march. Red Sanders Bruins led the nation in goal line stands, and they also had a very high average, scoring 41 points per game. Bud Wilkinson's Oklahomans were sixth in the total offense. They averaged 389 yards per game. and they were third in rushing. All three of these football teams were running teams, Oklahoma and Ohio State operating out of the split T, and the UCLA Bruins out of the slam bang grinding single wing formation as taught by Red Sanders. Well, since it's pretty well agreed that Woody Hayes' Ohio State Buckeyes played the toughest week in and week out schedule, that alone accounts for the lack of national standing statistically for the Ohio State Buckeyes. But we'll have a look now at these teams as they move along offensively. They're fine teams running out of the split T and the single wing as we mentioned. So let's go back to Sports Vision cameras and have a look at these teams on the march. Right half Jim Decker made the UCLA single wing reverse work. The reverse was one of UCLA's bread and butter plays too. Here Decker shows why as he cuts back around his own left end, skips through Stanford's defenders, and legs it 64 yards to the end zone. Again, it's Decker on the reverse, this time to the strong side. He breaks clear at the line of scrimmage behind typically potent Bruin blocking, and he goes 91 yards. UCLA rooting section applauds his effort. The Bruins set in their standard single wing formation to the right. And there's Decker again taking the handoff from fullback Bob Davenport and driving down the sidelines for another 13 yards. Almost nobody stopped the Bruin reverse. Here comes another sample of that Decker reverse, this time to the strong side. And it's good for 24 yards before the Maryland defenders haul him down. Basically a running team, the Bruins could pass when they had to. Doug Bradley shows just how, lofting a beauty to end Russ Hampton. Fullback Bob Davenport ranks as the coast's best fullback in years. When the Bruins got within smelling distance of the goal and needed a sure short gain, Davenport always got the call. Here now, he pile drives through the heart of Maryland's line to score. In slow motion now, a close-up of Davenport diving over the Southern California line for a touchdown. In the Stanford game, Davenport shows he has speed too. Stopped momentarily, the slam-bang Bruin fullback keeps churning, picks up speed, and outruns the Indian defenders. The Bruin line blocked with precision and power for Davenport against California. Tailback for the UCLA 11 was Primo Villanueva. Primo gave the Bruins a strong air arm. He demonstrates that in this play against SC, lofting the ball to end Bob Heidenfeld for 48 yards and a score. And do the Bruin rooters love it. Villanueva shows that pass to Heidenfeld was no fluke, tossing another perfectly timed aerial to his left end. The field camera picks up long striding Villanueva now. Here he comes on a touchdown gallop around left end. Another field level shot of Villanueva sweeping left end against SC, and this time you can see his real power. Watch Villanueva drive into the tackler. Davenport gives a good example of Bruin blocking, cutting down California's Johnny Wilson for Villanueva on this touchdown gallop. And now those Sooners. Quarterback Pat O'Neill filled in for injured Gene Callum and did all right, passing and running. Here's another sample of O'Neill's throwing. This time he hits Billy Pricer with a short one, and Pricer shows that he can run a bit too. Much of Oklahoma's success on offense could be traced to Gene Callum, whose deft ball handling fooled many an opponent. This screen pass to Buddy Leak had Cal's defense really guessing. Notice Callum's fine fake to the fullback on this play before he set sail around California's left end. Oklahoma's open field blocking doesn't hurt anybody but the Bears. This typical split T keeper play was worked to perfection by Callum as he scores against California. Oklahoma's line could really charge. Here, they open a big hole at left tackle for halfback Bob Herndon. Buddy Leak was a fine runner, but he also kept the defense honest with his passing. Despite the bad pitch out, he hits Carl Allison for good yardage. And here's Buddy Leak, the Sooners' fine left halfback. Max Boydston played All-American right end for Oklahoma. One of the Sooners' longest plays of the season came when Leak and Boydston paired up in the Cal game for an 88-yard play. Despite his 200 pounds, Boydston showed his heels to California's Sam Williams. Here's the same play, almost. Leak accepts the pitch out again, but this time he runs for a Sooner touchdown. The defense never could be sure just what Buddy would do. And in slow motion, here's another one of those Callum to Leak pitch outs. And as usual, it's good for 6 points. Oklahoma had a powerful runner in halfback Bob Herndon. Watch him sweep right end and churn through enemy tacklers, aided by fine downfield blocking. Since quarterbacks must run with the ball in the split T offense, substitute quarterback Pat O'Neill shows just how it's done. Fullback Jerry Tubbs helped him turn the corner against Missouri. Fullback Bob Burris, brother of All-American center Kurt, makes Bud Wilkinson wish there were more boys in the Burris family. Quarterback Jim Harris fooled the defense with that backward handoff, and you saw what Oklahoma's line does to spring brother Bob. The keeper playoff tackle was a bread and butter play for the Sooners. The Sooners showed deception as 3 men handled the ball on this one before halfback Tommy McDonald throws to Bob Burris. Quarterback Dave Leggett was one of 4 brilliant Buckeye backs. Halfback Howard Hopalong Cassidy broke Michigan's back. The third of Ohio's great backfield foursome was halfback Bobby Watkins. And watch him bang down the sidelines on this one. Fullback Hubert Bobo was 4th of the Buckeye backs. On this play, he springs Bobby Watkins free for 30 yards and a touchdown against Purdue. Again now, Watkins barrels through for the score. Another great demonstration by the Buckeye line on this slant play paves the way for another Ohio touchdown in the Illinois game. That's Bobby Watkins carrying. Bobo comes through again with a turn the corner block, and Watkins is off to the races once more for 40 yards. Ohio's powerful line thrust Purdue back, and Dave Leggett sneaks for the TD. Leggett was a surprise first stringer this year. He had to beat out regular 1953 quarterback Johnny Borton. But like this pass play to Dick Brubaker, he was great in the clutch. Another favorite play of Ohio's was the keeper, and again Leggett was a handy guy to have on your side. Leggett's favorite target was Captain Dick Brubaker, the Buckeyes' right end. Even rushing enemy linemen can't ruin his aim, and he hits Captain Dick perfectly. Another great receiver was left end Dean Duggar. Between Duggar and Brubaker, enemy defenses had problems galore. This 19-yard pass play will give you an idea of what we mean. Fullback Hubert Bobo could carry the mail, too. He had both finesse and power displayed in this sparkling run. It didn't seem to make any difference to Ohio State's running attack if Watkins went out. Jim Roseborough took over, and he ran with just as much authority. Bobo illustrates again on this delayed pitch out how much he added to the powerful Buckeye ground attack. The one ball carrier that Buckeye opponents feared most was Howard Hopalong Cassidy, brilliant All-American halfback. Against Purdue, he goes 68 yards on a typical Cassidy jaunt. Bobo and Duggar clear an alley, and Cassidy never stops running. Ohio State could block with any team, and guard Jim Reichenbach gives you a good sample. Cassidy rambles on the right end sweep and again gets valuable help from his blockers. With blocking like that and runners like Cassidy, Watkins, and Bobo, how could you stop the Buckeyes? Well, you've seen the three best teams in the nation, both on offense and defense. Which team did you like the best? You can help us rate these teams by sending a card to me, Bill Symmes, Box 908, Hollywood 28, California. Send us a card and pick the team that you think is the top in the nation. Well, next week, the All-American Game of the Week presents a roundup of the top games of 1954. You'll see teams like Notre Dame, Southern California, Michigan, Iowa, plus the three teams we've just seen. So be with us then. This is Bill Symmes saying so long until next week.